Palace of Auburn Hills, this evening's Continental Indoor Soccer League action as the Detroit Neon playing host to the Pittsburgh Stingers. And a very good evening, everyone. John Allers alongside my color analyst Joel Epstein. As tonight, the Pittsburgh Stingers and the Detroit Neon tangle for the third time this season. Two teams long out of the CISL playoff race, but a phenomenon, Joel. There's a buzz in the building nonetheless.
That's true, because it's the return of Drago. Drago comes back to the Palace where he's played last year in the season, and he joined the Pittsburgh club to help them offensively, and he's done that. If the Neon expect to win this evening, they'll need to bring up their enthusiasm level as they did last Saturday night when they beat San Jose here in overtime, John.
One of the reasons Drago was available to be moved by the Neon, unlike last season, no longer was he the focus of the Detroit offense. That title has now gone to Andy Chapman.
That's right. Andy Chapman leads this team in all offensive categories. But look for him to dish the ball tonight, because Pittsburgh knows he's that superstar player, and he'll be looking to dish the ball to Joey Murtaugh. Joey Murtaugh, they didn't think he'd be playing this game because of some misconduct he's had, but they were able to get him in this ball game, and he's the man who will create transition. Hopefully he'll be able to get his shot off quickly this evening, because he can score when he's able to do that.
Speaking of offensive focus, since Drago went to Pittsburgh 3 games ago, he has been exactly that. He has 5 goals and 12 points in all. He is now the focus for the Neon defensively.
That's true, and it'll be Earl Paris with tremendous speed and defensive ability who will be marking Drago this evening. So look for Earl to stick with Drago like glue. Of course, defensively, Pittsburgh has an outstanding goalkeeper, rated 4th in the league. If the Neon want to beat P.J. Johns this evening, they'll have to keep it low and hard and into the corners.
P.J. Johns has been the focus of the 2 previous meetings between these 2 teams. The Neon have only beaten him 3 times in 2 games, and the 2 previous games very low-scoring games as well. We'll take a timeout. When we return to the Palace of Auburn Hills, we'll come back and take a look at tonight's keys to the game, as well as have the opening kickoff after this.
Detroit Neon Indoor Soccer is brought to you. Never done it this big or this early. Announcing the $5 million sell down, now at all 5 Barrel stores. Get early closeout prices on over 1,000 new cars, trucks, and vans. Barrel has what you want: luxury, performance, value, style. The Barrel $5 million sell down, now through the end of the month. Only at Barrel Chevrolet Geo, Barrel Honda, Barrel Acura, Barrel Oldsmobile Cadillac, and Barrel Mitsubishi.
Hey, you always hear about what goes into oil. Well, I'm going to tell you what you'll get out of Kendall oil. One thing you'll get is an engine that lasts. And during the Kendall Twist and Shout sweepstakes, you can win a new ride and other cool prizes. Just buy a case of Kendall and check under the cap. There's 12 chances to win in every case. Hey, look, I won! I won! This is easier than winning races.
Joe calls Pittsburgh Limousine whenever he goes to the airport. Mike calls a cab. Pittsburgh Limousine provides clean and comfortable airport transportation for about the same price as a taxi. Wonder who'll get there first. Pittsburgh Limousine, the one clear choice in transportation.
7 miles northeast with the cardiac.
With an Air Force ROTC college scholarship, you can go as far as your talent and drive take you. Aim high, Air Force.
On Channel 11 News at 6, we talk a lot about neighborhood news. I want to know what's going on close to home. That's where we live. On Channel 11 News at 6, you'll find a neighborhood story around every corner.
Local kids doing good things for the neighborhood and their community.
It's warm, it's from the heart. Looking for neighborhood news coverage you can count on?
Pittsburgh is my community.
I care what's going on right here in my city. Look to Channel 11 News at 6 for more news, for more neighborhoods, more often.
Get more from your workout in less time. Max it out with the RTB.
Add from 1 to 20 pounds of weight while you work out. Build strength, endurance, explosive power.
Rule number 3, no stairs, no drills, and definitely no rubber bands. Just me and my RTB.
All you need is the resistance training vest to get the ultimate workout for your sport while playing your sport. You train as you play.
Hey, you got those rules? Then get off the couch and go get yourself an RTV.
Call now and get the RTV, 4 starter weights, the RTV training program, and logbook. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
I'm waiting.
Time now to take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by American Greetings. For the Neon, they have to do something they've only tried to do in practice up until now.
And that's neutralize Drago. That means that they need to step up on him and not let him pass the ball and not let him beat him off the ball as well. If they let him pass the ball, he is such a great passer, he could hurt this ball club. Of course, also, the Neon need to score early and often because you don't want to get behind Pittsburgh. They play such a tremendous defensive game. You don't want to try and have to score goals against them later. It's very difficult to do.
This evening's keys to the game brought to you by American Greetings, the birthday company. As we look back, the all-time series led by the Pittsburgh Stingers. These teams met 3 times a year ago, just a 3-2 advantage. But this season it's been all Pittsburgh.
The Neon have scored just 3 goals in the last 2 ball games against Pittsburgh.
The officials for tonight's game, Frankowitz is Soren, and Foligno will be the assistant referee. He will be off the field as appointed by the Continental Indoor Soccer League for this evening's game. Take a look at the starting goalkeeper tonight for the Detroit Neon. It'll be John Kluba, who got his first professional win in his last outing.
Johnny Kluba gets a start over Colin Jex. Curtis McAllister still trying to improve his knee.
And P.J. Johns, who despite the type of season the Pittsburgh Stingers are having, has had an outstanding year himself. The veteran has led the way for this club.
And he was the defensive MVP of the All-Star game that was played in Portland a couple weeks ago.
Dave Baker, the interim head coach of the Neon, has been in that capacity for 12 games now.
And Dave's suffering from some knee problems himself. Will have off-season surgery on his knee to correct that problem.
And we're set to go at midfield. The team's shaking hands and getting ready as we take a look at the Stingers head coach, Paul Child, in his second season.
And Paul Child is pleased to have Drago, and there is Drago, because he is giving Drago some leadership role, and that's what Drago is looking for in the offensive end. They play so fine defensively that Drago's helping them offensively. That's what they needed in Pittsburgh.
He gets the ball to start the game, coughed it up as Paris took it away as he came right off the Detroit bench. Got it to Murtaugh. Joey gave it back, and now they'll work it from out high. Terry Rowe from the center circle ahead for the bleach-headed Joe Murtaugh. Back now for Hormos, who moves it across.
Neon fans will notice that Ian Fairbrother is not in the ballgame tonight. He's suffering from a hamstring injury and will not be able to go.
He'll be missed. Detroit controls his Murtaugh on the right side. Now his triple team. Drago tripped him up, and the former Neon picks up the first foul of this evening's game, just 35 seconds into it.
This is going to be a wild affair because there's a lot of emotion involved with Drago coming back here to play.
He will stand 15 feet away from Terry Rowe as he puts the free kick into play from the red line in the Pittsburgh zone. Sent across for Andy Chapman. One touch to Murtaugh. Back to Chapman, and he may have just hit the outside of the post. The long rebound gotten to by Terry Rowe. Banks it off the board right through the arc, and overrunning it was Chapman. The Stingers will have control and clear it away.
Tremendous set play opportunity for the Neon. They work the give and go between Joey and Andy. Unfortunately, I think Andy wanted to go to the other side with that shot.
Earl Paris jams it off the boards, tried to get it to the front of the net, but Whitman got to it and cleared all the way back to midfield. Kluba way out to help out. Gave it to Steve McCall, who chipped it over the top, but Andy Chapman unable to get to it, and P.J. Johns handles it away on the right side for Bobby Johnston. Johnston moves it down the near boards, broken up by Murtaugh, bounced off the top of the glass and stayed in the barn. And Murtaugh had it taken away. And the Stingers control.
You got to think that the Neon have some fresh legs because they've not played since last Sunday, John.
Kenny Pryor moved it through midfield. Only to have it sent back to him, and then again he tries to get it into the Detroit zone, but that broken up by Steve McCall.
Now, Pittsburgh is the lowest scoring team in the league. They score just under 5 goals a game. You can see they don't have much going on offensively so far.
Bobby Harmon, hampered by an ankle injury, will play nonetheless. He plays it back for Kluba, who leaves it low on the carpet through the middle. Corwin for Wagstaff. Back off the boards to Corwin. He didn't get much on it as he went down. And P.J. Johns had no trouble with that.
Once again, a very simple game. Another wall pass between Neon players and almost resulting in a goal from Wagstaff to Corwin.
Franciszek Jarusz in the game for Pittsburgh, one of the 3 Polish imports they brought over early in the year. He's the only player still with the club of the 3. And Earl Paris all over Drago. It's loose back in the Pittsburgh zone, and Johns puts it right on Terry Rowe's foot, and he fired it wide. The rebound to Paris, and he beat the keeper, but the save made coming back by David Moxham, who covered up behind the net.
And that's why Pittsburgh's such a great defensive ball club. They help their goalie out all the time in situations like that.
Boy, and Earl Paris has got to feel snake bit. He's one of the few Neon players who's yet to get a goal this season, and he had his best chance there. Were it not for Moxham, he'd be in the scoring column.
Well, it's been all Neon so far.
And they'll lose Drago at midfield, and Kluba comes out to play it for McCall. Not quite 3 minutes into it from the Palace. John Allers along with Joel Epstein. Glad to have you with us this evening. No score between the Detroit Neon and the Pittsburgh Stingers. Chris Crawford out for an early shift for him. A rookie who hails from Tampa. Has not seen a lot of action of late. Now Wagstaff, who has basically had the same fate, drop it back for Joe Murtaugh. His pass through the middle is broken up. Murtaugh trying to help out, but it's rolled past everyone. And here's Leite, Marcio Leite back into the Detroit end, but he couldn't run it down. Hormos got a piece of it, and the Neon defender drives it through the middle. For Wagstaff, who finds Andy Chapman deep in the Pittsburgh zone. One touch back to Murtaugh, pulls it around his man, drove it right on. Johns made the save. The rebound loose in front and sent just over top as Hormos found himself inside the arc. Chapman keeps it alive for Murtaugh. Joe working 1-on-2 at the top of the arc, tries to beat his man straight up. It came right back to him. Wagstaff trails the play. Murtaugh keeps it alive, right foots one wide of the mark, and the carom off the board to Wagstaff on the near side. Kia comes over to help out defensively and takes it away from the Neon rookie, then threw a dangerous pass across his own zone. Crawford got a piece of it, and he spins his man around and took him down. That was Whitman, and Crawford picks up the foul.
Neon doing a real nice job of putting pressure on the Stingers, but they need to get some goals in here early in order to be successful in this game.
Kia sends it long over the top, and Drago on the run gets his knee on it inside the Detroit zone. Earl Paris took it away. Earl with a nice touch pass beat Kia in midfield. He's got Harmon and Chapman with him. Ahead for Chapman. Tried to one-touch it across, and Pittsburgh's Whitman inadvertently puts it in his own net. And when you're struggling to score, you'll take them any way you can, and the Neon will take it.
Neon taking advantage of really a 3v1 situation. You can see Andy was trying to work the ball to the right side where he had Bobby Harmon streaking up the field. Unfortunately for the Stingers, Whitman stepped in front and knocks the ball past P.J. Johnson. He was coming to cut off Harmon, who was coming from the other side of the field.
Now when you're a goal scorer, they go in for you, and Andy Chapman will get credit for the goal. Earl Paris will get the assist. And Paul Child is already signaled for his first, or I should say his timeout. As he sees the same thing you've seen so far, Joel, and that is the fact it's been all Detroit.
That's right. Earl Paris creating the defense there and the offense, bringing that ball and creating that 3v1 quick situation for the Neon scoring opportunity.
10:40 to go in the first quarter. 4:20 time of the goal for Chapman, his 29th of the season. Don't forget, coming up on Thursday, the Neon will host the Dallas Sidekicks here at the Palace, and the first 4,000 will be invited to attend a post-game Keebler sampling. Compliments of Keebler, and I know you've got a season pass for that, Joel.
I'm a cookie kind of guy.
The start, Andy Chapman and the Neon wanted. They have a 1-0 lead over Pittsburgh. Chapman credited with his 29th of the season. I have to say that I think I've seen him score 3 or 4 goals like that this year, and that just lends back to the fact that goal scorers get all kinds of goals, including at times when you're slumping, just any way you can. And not that Andy's slumping, but that's his first goal in 3 games.
Neon have done so much offensively already in this game. To score and an opportunity like that is rather shocking.
So off the timeout, Pittsburgh puts it into play. Whitman, who inadvertently put it in his own net, sends it to the corner in the Detroit end, and Earl Paris acrobatically drives it back out. He's all over Drago as the Stingers move it back in, and Earl able to move it up the boards and out. Back to Drago it comes, over the top, and Paris is right on his back as he moves it up the right dasher. Drago beat him around the boards, banked it in front, but Kia couldn't get over a fallen Bobby Harmon to get to it, and Noel Corwin able to run it down for Detroit. Now McCall having trouble getting it out, finds Harmon. Terry Rowe clears to midfield. Tonight's game being brought to you by Pontiac Osteopathic Hospital.
Drago showing us why he is such a talent in this league. He can find his way around the boards and past Earl Paris in that situation to create a great scoring opportunity for Pittsburgh there.
Kia and Drago out at the same time as Paris tries to poke it away from the bald one. He'll move it to the left corner in front, intended for Kia, broken up by Steve McCall, who stayed home, and the Neon have possession back. Coro into the near side finds Terry Rowe. You expect Terry to play a lot tonight in the absence of Ian Fairbrother. He moves it into the Pittsburgh end, and Kenny Fryer will run it down side of his own net. Drove it through 3 different Neon players to midfield, where Murtaugh brings it right back. Joe brings it to the top of the arc, right puts it right on. P.J. Johns held his ground, and you can see the veteran didn't even move. Murtaugh made some fancy moves at the top of the arc, but Johns knew he had the angle.
P.J. Johns actually made that play long before it was shot because he's always standing in the right spot. He's such a wise keeper. He knows his positioning.
Here's Marcel Leite for Pittsburgh back the other way. Being marked by Murtaugh, who stays with him. Moves it to the left side, trying to tackle it away as Joey, and then Leite fires it wide to the far post. Chapman trying to clear it, but Alan Hom kept it alive, drove it right on, and John Kluba makes his first save of the game nearly 6.5 minutes into it.
You can see the momentum starting to shift here. Stingers are getting a lot friskier in their offensive end. They're starting to attack the Neon and probe and see what they can pull off here.
1-0 Detroit. Andy Chapman scoring at 4:20 of the first. The only goal of the game is Kluba way out of the Detroit net, drives it into the Pittsburgh zone where he gets Chapman off the dasher. His left footer misses the mark, but running down the carom is Bobby Harmon. Drops it back for Chris Crawford. Crawford moves it right back in for Chapman, who falls down trying to get it. He's got Moxham on his back, and the ball trickles to the corner. 4 men in deep for Detroit, unable to keep it in. And a nice job to clear it out by Yarouche, and all the way back for Leite into the Detroit zone. Leite just being marked by Hormos, who keeps his distance, gets the left footer through traffic towards the net. Kluba scoops it up and rolls it ahead on the left side for a streaking Bobby Harmon.
It looked like Leite's shot went off of Andy Wagstaff's right arm. Ref did not call it. He got to get the ball back.
Yeah, a bit of a break for Detroit there. Hormos will move it down the right side. One bounce off the dasher. Chapman puts it off the glass right into the arc, but P.J. Johns able to cover as he got some help.
Boy, Andy Chapman sure is logging a lot of minutes in this ball game, John. He seems like he's been out there the entire time.
Kia gets the pass from Johns and got into the Detroit zone, but his shot ends up in the crowd. Just over halfway through the first, the Neon have the start they wanted. They have a 1-0 lead.
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call 1-800-417-1300 now.
You don't know how magnificent U.S. prime beef can be till you've had Ruth's Chris Extraordinary Corn-Fed Beef, served sizzling. Dining at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is a whole new experience. So come hungry for U.S. prime beef like you've never tasted before. Only at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, home of serious steaks.
Our Fitness for Youth player of tomorrow, Brian Seitz of Troy. It's brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, proud sponsors of Fitness for Youth. You feel better if you're blue.
Joey Murtaugh making the attack here. He's going to find a spot where he can shoot this ball from. You can see his fancy footwork, but there's P.J. Johns standing right in the center of the goal to make the save.
Kluba gunning it off the timeout down the left side, and a late whistle, but a 3-line violation goes against Detroit. So the Neon, after taking it to Pittsburgh in the early going, still riding the crest with a 1-0 lead, and boy, the shots tell the story.
They do, but I think that the Stingers are starting to get some momentum, as I said earlier here, and the Neon have got to be careful to keep this 1-goal lead.
Kia will trigger the free kick, kept it low on the carpet, and I believe that went off a Pittsburgh player over the glass and out of play.
Good call, John. That's what the ref is calling. You see that Noel Corwin has now replaced Andy Chapman, and he's going to be playing up front.
Your friendly Dodge dealers present Detroit Neon Soccer Clinics at the Palace. There's one coming up tomorrow at 2, and then Wednesday, September the 20th at 6. Stop by your Dodge dealer to get your free tickets. Wagstaff through midfield for Detroit has Corwin with him as he brings it into the Pittsburgh zone. And he tried to drop it back for Chris Crawford, and that didn't work. Now up the boards, Murtaugh runs it down at midfield. Murtaugh run down as well on the play by Chris Kelly, but keeps it alive for Andy Wagstaff. A very young Detroit lineup out there this evening for the Neon, and don't expect it to change just because it's been young early. They don't have Steve Kinsey this evening or Ian Fairbrother because of injuries, and they're forced to go with the youth.
Well, they'll have good, strong legs. The question is, will they have the experience they need at the end of this ball game to pull off a victory?
Terry Rowe trying to sneak it through for Corwin, who gave his man a shove and got away with it, but the ball didn't get through, and now Whitman for Pittsburgh. Whitman, in a strange sort of way, has the only goal of the game, and he wishes he didn't. 6:10 to go, first quarter, 1-0 Detroit. Drago off the Pittsburgh bench, strange as it may sound, leaves it for Kia at midfield. Now they look for the ball to one down low in the Detroit zone, being marked by his longtime teammate, Earl Paris, who now chases him out to midfield. Those two, if they didn't know each other as teammates, are going to know each other at the end of the night tonight. Moxham moves it high at midfield and then goes to the left board. Kia comes out high, pass right into the Detroit arc, broken up by Paris, but he missed. Terry Rowe trying to feed it back out of the zone.
And that's unfortunate for the Neon there because there's an unforced error in the midfield. Neon need to collect the ball to keep the pressure off from the Stingers here.
Oh, and Drago turned the corner on Paris as it came off the board, but trying to take it out of the air, didn't get a lot on it. Kluba able to deflect it, and he went high to get it. Through midfield now for Chapman, who's 1-on-2 in the Pittsburgh zone. Andy pushed off, now pulls his man around the corner. That's Moxham. And then Moxham picks up the foul as Superman, as they call him, ends up on the carpet.
Well, Moxham and Andy were tangled up the entire time. Andy was able, with his experience, to spin Moxham around and head towards the goal. Moxham had to grab him there because otherwise it was Andy and P.J. Johns.
I think if they were dancing, you'd call it a do-si-do, wouldn't you? Neon will get the free kick, a virtual corner kick. Harmon to trigger, touches it to McCall. He scores! Oh, he just kept it low on the carpet. And not expecting it to go short side was P.J. Johns. It's 2-0 Detroit.
Well, it's funny. Bobby Harmon's been involved with both goals, hasn't scored either one. That situation, it looked like McCall wanted to hit that with his left foot because he is left-footed. At the last minute, he switches feet and flips it near side, just passes the ball near side, right by the post, past P.J. Johns.
Just the second of the season for the second-year Michigan State grad, Steve McCall. Harmon will pick up the helper, and Johns, I think, was caught leaning the other way. 2-0 Detroit, 5:14 to go in the opening quarter. Drago puts it into play for the Stingers. Crawford marks Whitman as he comes in with a low shot, diving to his left. Kluba smothers it and comes out throwing, looking to sneak it through for Chapman. That hit Bobby Johnson in the back of the elbow. Play continues. And now a foul will go against Chapman from within the Pittsburgh zone.
Well, one of our keys to the game was for the Neon to score early and often, and so far they've done that. First quarter with 5 minutes left to go. They've got 2 on the board. Stingers have none. So if they're able to keep this pace going and take advantage of the opportunities they get, they're going to have a sweet victory here in the Palace on Saturday night.
Dave Baker and Andy Chapman like what they see so far. The Neon, one of their best opening quarters of the season thus far, and now a misconduct, I believe, has been given to Andy Chapman, who disagreed a little too vociferously with the foul he picked up.
That's something you need to be careful of, especially when you're trying to hold the lead. Although it's a misconduct, they won't have a situation where they'll be short-handed and have to kill off a penalty, but you don't want to mess with your momentum at all, your emotional side, as far as, you know, keeping your side together with all the players that you want on the court at the time.
Corwin for Detroit, a little bit out of control, couldn't keep control as he came to the Pittsburgh line, and now Leite will drop it back for P.J. Johns. Well, the Neon have already scored more goals in this one than they did in the last meeting between these two clubs when they lost 4-1 at Pittsburgh. They have a 2-0 lead. Still over 4 minutes to go first quarter.
They scored only 2 goals last Sunday in their last ball game against Monterey as well, so they've got to feel really good about their offensive capabilities so far in this ball game.
Bobby Johnston for Pittsburgh has it out near midfield and gives it to Drago. Nifty move to get around Earl Paris, but Whitman coming back just leaves it for Johnston, and now all the way back to the keeper, John. PJ moves it through the middle, and Leite off the boards, looking for Johnston ahead on the right side. Turns back off the near boards, moves it into the arc. Pittsburgh getting it as low as they have, but Johnston unable to get anything on it as Corwin was on him like glue, and Kluba easily pounces on that.
That was a great defensive play by Corwin to stand his ground and block that shot as Johnston turned to his left to try to get something off.
Pittsburgh changing on the go, comes up with the pass from Kluba as he just got it out of harm's way, and here's Leite again. Marcio Leite leaves it for Jason Davis, and now all the way back out to the center circle as Pittsburgh will try to reset from out high. 3:25 to go in the first as Leite moves it up the right side and then sends it out to the top of the arc. Yarouche now with it, again working the right side for Leite. Double teamed in the corner, sends it out high. Jason Davis draws the attention there of both Terry Rowe and Murtaugh. Got through them and then had his shot deflected wide. Then Leite tried to take it up top, and he hit the crossbar.
And Noel Corwin just saved a goal by getting his head on that ball. That looked like it was headed into the goal by Moxon, who was standing right at the doorstep there.
Yarouche again from midfield, playing a little game of catch with David Moxon. Now moves it over to Davis on the left side in front of the Detroit bench. Being marked by Murtaugh, he again moves across to the left side, does Yarouche, and then leaves it for Moxon at the center circle, and high pressure now from Noel Corwin.
And this is what the Stingers want to try and do, is get Drago the ball, but Earl Paris is guarding Drago so closely they can't get him to trigger the offense because he can't seem to receive the ball.
Leite finds Drago at the red line, and Paris is on him quickly and boots it away, but right to Moxon. Long shot by Moxon, handled by Kluba, although he didn't trap it. McCall quickly on top of it to clear it away. Found Paris, who gives it to Terry Rowe. The Neon are in the middle of making changes right now as Rowe is upended at midfield, and the Neon calling for a blue card will not get it, but they do get the foul. Moxon picks up that foul, and the Neon put it back into play. Hormos will spin it down the left boards where Corwin does a nice job to feed it to Murtaugh into the arc. Joey got caught up in his own teammate and then just hit the top of the crossbar.
Boy, Hormos is really penetrating far into the offensive end. I've never seen him do that so much in a ballgame as we've done here. Unfortunately, he got Joey Murtaugh's way, and Murtaugh hit that ball as he readjusted his shot off the crossbar.
Joey wanted to take that shot as Hormos ran in front of it, though, and had to almost double pump, if you will. Now a giveaway by the Stingers in their own zone, ends up on Murtaugh's foot. He'll bring it to the left this time. Now cut it back. Fakes with the right foot because Kia's all over him, and now leaves it for Hormos. Hormos beats Kia with one move into the Pittsburgh zone. Off the boards, his shot came into the arc, but Wagstaff unable to run it down with just over a minute to go in the quarter. Cleared to midfield, and Chris Crawford for the Neon has it. Backs all the way to his own red line as Detroit finishes changes, and now McCall, who has one of the two Detroit goals, will bring it up the right side. Drove it off the back of Wagstaff. It came right back to Steve, who controls to the left board.
It was right off of Andy, your ponytail.
Now it ends up in the corner where McCall will jam it off the boards, comes in front, and unable to turn and get a shot away was Crawford. Cleared to the center circle now, less than a minute to go, and for the first time this evening we see Erwin Asselman. Late in the first quarter, 2-0 Detroit. McCall out high with Wagstaff as the youth continue to get all the time for the Neon this evening, basically because this is a banged-up team and they got to go with the youngsters. Alan Hom breaks up Wagstaff's pass and clears back to the Detroit line. Kluba, who's had a strong first quarter, leaves it for Andy there. Into the middle for Harmon, right back to the keeper. Kluba outside the red line, can drive it as long as he wants, and he'll chip at the length of the field off the corner glass. Asselman trying to head it towards the net, and that went over top off the glass. P.J. Johns guns it down the left side. Just over 15 seconds to go in the quarter. That pass didn't work, but Neon clear to midfield. This is Leite with now less than 10 seconds to go in the quarter for Drago. If the Stingers are going to do something, they need to do it quickly. Drago has it booted away by Terry Rowe, and that should successfully end the quarter. It will. The ball back in the Pittsburgh zone as the horn sounds, and the Neon have to feel good about the first 15 at the Palace. Our score: the Detroit Neon 2, the Pittsburgh Stingers nothing.
You love the difference in all the things we do. Yes, you love the difference, how we do more for you. Oh, what a difference. Oh, what a flavor. Stop and think you love the difference we make. Oh, what a difference. Oh, what a flavor. Oh, yeah. Stop and think you love the difference we make.
Hey, Denny Brower, show us your bait.
I catch more fish with Bassmaster than anything else. Bassmaster keeps me up on the latest strategies and techniques for finding and catching more fish more often.
Hey, Shaw Grigsby, show us your bait.
I wouldn't be caught fishing without Bassmaster magazine. This is where over 500,000 members of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society share their secrets for success.
It's what you know and where you go that counts on the water. As a member of Bass, I depend on the know-how I read in those 10 yearly issues of Bassmaster magazine. But you have to be a member of Bass in order to get it. Hey, you're a member, aren't you?
You're not?
An angler like you ought to be a Bass member. Come on and join us and start packing this in your tackle box.
Call 1-800-BASS-854 now to join Bass. With your $18 paid membership, you'll receive 10 issues a year of Bassmaster magazine, plus this free tackle pack with Berkeley's Glitter Power Worm, Pradco's Bomber Flat A, Berkeley's Trilene XL line, and a copy of Bass Baits. That's 1-800-BASS-854.
There are all kinds of blue people, families and single people, young and old, each with their own needs. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan offers all kinds of plans. So no matter what you choose, you can still be blue. And that can make you feel pretty good. You feel better if you're blue.
Am I blue?
Well, all the scoring in the first quarter belongs to the Detroit Neon. Andy Chapman on a bit of a gift. They give the assist to Paris at 4:20. Then at 9:46, Steve McCall off a free kick out of the corner from Bobby Harmon, and the Neon have a 2-0 advantage. And as we take a look at the stats, the shots definitely in favor of Detroit, and the attack time tells us a little bit about what we saw in that quarter as well.
And also the fouls. Two foul leaders in this league are on Pittsburgh, Johnston and Moxham. And they're keeping their team in this ball game by holding up the Neon in certain situations.
Not too soon to get involved in another NBA season as the 95-96 Piston campaign is just around the corner. Ticket packages begin as low as $149. For more information, call the Palace box office, 810-377-0100. And the Neon will have possession as the second quarter gets underway. 2-0, Detroit on top. Detroit puts it into play. Murtaugh chips it the length of the field, and P.J. John saw Andy Chapman coming, so he heads it out of harm's way. Neon have to build on that first quarter. It's a 60-minute game for a reason. Chapman, who has already served a misconduct, back out for the first time since that ended, trying to play it off the boards, and it's booted out of play by the Stingers. A concerned Paul Child looks on.
We're seeing a lot of minutes played by Andy Wagstaff. He hasn't played regular shifts entire season so far, but he is this evening. He's playing regular shifts.
Formos sends it over the top. Chapman got his foot on it, and the first man there was Chris Crawford, who was bumped off the ball illegally, says the official. So the Neon, again, as you mentioned, picking up the foul, Joel. Chapman with a shot off the free kick from Murtaugh, got it towards the net, and then flying after the rebound, any number of Neon players, and Wagstaff bicycle kicks it out of play.
Everybody's trying to bicycle kick. You can see how crowded it gets there in the arc with all the defenders, and everybody's trying to put that ball in the net for the Neon. That's a good sign.
We haven't seen problem, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen that kind of penetration, I don't think, very much this season.
I was about to say, as McCall picks up the foul on Leite, that at times that has been a problem for Detroit. They've gotten the ball into the arc, but there hasn't been anybody there to play it, and tonight they've got the players there. Off the free kick, Pittsburgh puts it into play, but Paris takes it away from Drago and heads back through midfield. He's got McCall with him, and he is tripped up as he came to the red line, but it comes back to Terry Rowe. His shot blocked on the way. Harmon covers up as he takes it from midfield to the top of the arc. His left footer got closer to the net, but it didn't get all the way through, and now the Stingers clear to midfield. The official title sponsors of the Detroit Neon are Chrysler Plymouth and Dodge divisions of the Chrysler Corporation. Corwin with some good work to work it free, but Paris unable to run it down, and Whitman for Pittsburgh control. Stingers bring it into the Detroit end and now move it back out as Whitman has it at midfield. Stingers down 2-0 as we welcome those joining us on our broadcast in the Pittsburgh area. Welcome to the Palace and Detroit as the Neon and Stingers tangle for the third time this season. And Drago unable to take the pass at the top of the arc. Let it go, so Bobby Harmon has it for Detroit. Harmon double teamed as he comes up the boards. Leite got a good piece of him, and Bobby draws the foul, much to the chagrin of Drago and the Pittsburgh club. Right through the middle, Davis steals it away, got it low to Drago, and all he can do is put it out of play.
Good to see Bobby Harmon out there. You know, he's played every single ball game this season, and he's doing so with a very tender ankle at this point.
The Neon need him. They not only are without Steve Kinsey's offense tonight and Ian Fairbrother, but it would appear that Kenny Snow will be out of the Detroit lineup for the remainder of the season after a restraining order was put on the contract he signed by the club about a week and a half ago by the NPSL, and it has effectively spelled him for the remainder of the season. Kia, who was a majority of Pittsburgh's offense before Drago came on the scene 3 games ago, moving it to Whitman, but he can't get it any further than the Detroit zone, and now Kluba precariously in front of his own net, waiting till the last second to clear that one away.
And now we're not seeing any midfield play whatsoever. We're seeing the ball being knocked from one offensive end to the other.
Crawford got a bit of a break after heading it right back to Drago. The whistle and the foul on Drago as he got the foot up high.
And that's a sign usually when players are just knocking the ball across the court, is that people are tired. And it's kind of surprising at this juncture that they would be doing that.
Neon have been off since last Sunday when they lost here at home to Monterey as Chapman puts it over the boards and over the glass and out of play. Stay tuned for this evening's American Airlines halftime report. Comes to you courtesy of American Airlines. Something special in the air. We'll visit with Earl Parrott of the Detroit Neon. Earl, who did not see a ton of playing time early in the season, now seeing it a little different as Drago drives one off the crossbar, and he's frustrated with himself. One of the few times tonight he's gotten free from Earl Parrott.
He did get free from Earl there. Earl tried to play the ball coming towards Drago and wasn't able to handle that ball.
Murtaugh through midfield, got around Kia, has to run it down on the left side. Now he has help out high, calling for it is Earl Parrott. Murtaugh brings it to the top of the box. Fake spinning it back to Rowe, and now it does come out to Paris at midfield.
Joey showing some of his wares to Kia there. He was able to stick a foot in there and defend.
One move gets Hermosa around Alan Hom, and he gets it into the Pittsburgh end. Corwin handling it off to Dasher. Has Whitman on his back. He'll send it high for Andy Wagstaff. Now to the left side, Terry Rowe takes a look, drives it right into the defender. Bounces back out high. Kenny Pryor and Wagstaff both going after it, and Andy put it out of play, so Pittsburgh will have possession.
Well, the Neon are still putting good pressure on the Stingers and not giving the Stingers the opportunity very often in their offensive end of trying to make this game a tighter ball game. Neon are putting pressure on trying to get another goal. I like the pace of this game the Neon are playing at this point, John.
Just over 3.5 into the second quarter. 2-0 Detroit has the lead. Goals from Andy Chapman and Steve McCall. Drago through midfield, comes back to get it from P.J. Johns. One of the leading goalkeepers in the CISL all season long has been Johns. For Leite at midfield, and he has to run it down as he got it a little hard off the right foot coming back.
The fact that Pittsburgh is the lowest scoring team in the league, you know that they're going to have to defend a lot. And P.J. Johns is a tremendous goalie, rated 4th in the league, and that says a lot for a goalie who's under tremendous pressure game in and game out.
Drago trying to work the give and go at the top of the arc, but he didn't get it back, and now Detroit controls, and Terry Rowe bangs it up the boards and out of harm's way. Harmon let it go for Corwin, but he wasn't anticipating, and the Stingers bring it back and drive it just wide, as David Moxham was dangerous at the top of the Detroit arc. Alan Hom intercepts Harmon's pass, and back come the Stingers. This is Kenny Pryor. Pryor bumped from behind, keeps it to his left foot, now drops it for Leite.
And the Neon need to be very careful when they're receiving the ball in transition. They keep giving it away, and eventually that's going to hurt them.
They move it in front, and it goes off the heel of Alan Hom, and then Leite's shot off of Kluba out of play. The best offensive chance of the quarter for Pittsburgh.
Absolutely, John. You're right about that. And I'm surprised to see Alan Hom standing all by himself right in front of the goal unmolested.
Hom, I think, was surprised as well. He didn't handle it all as well as he would have liked.
He should have knocked that ball with his left, but instead he tried to hit it with his right, and it hit his left foot. Went backwards instead of forwards.
Leite will handle the corner kick as it went off of Kluba from inside the arc and out of play. So a corner kick from the left side of the Detroit zone. Clock ticking as Leite tried to force it in front, and that was blocked back at him. Good defensive play by Terry Rowe. Now sent wide as Leite had it with his back to the goal and all the way out to Franciszek Jarusz. Pittsburgh will reset. Kenny Pryor up the left side. Beat Terry Rowe into the Detroit zone. Left puts one in. He beat Kluba short side. And give credit to Kenny Pryor. He did that one all on his own from midfield in.
And Kenny Pryor is the leading scorer on this team, the leading goal scorer. That would be his 17th goal of the season. Terry Rowe is left. A quick shuffle move by Pryor, and he knows how to find the net. He hits it near side with his left foot. Quick shuffle move around Terry Rowe. Works his way to his left foot where he's able to bang it home.
Yeah, Terry appeared to be caught a little bit flat-footed on the play, and he had to commit, and when he did, Pryor, being the veteran that he is and the goal scorer that he is, made the one-step move right around him, and then it was him and Kluba mano-a-mano, and Pryor wins that battle. And the Neon called a timeout. This is rather interesting, I guess, execution of timeouts by each team. After giving up the first goal of the game, both teams have used a timeout. Pittsburgh has cut the Neon lead in half early in the second. It's 2-1.
What it is, what it isn't. It is the arrival of the fittest, the new Toyota Tacoma. It isn't the same compact truck millions have known. It is better, better looking, with better performance. Better than Ford, Chevy, and Dodge from 0 to 60. Loaded and unloaded. One more thing. It is a great time to see your Toyota dealer to get your best deal on a new Tacoma.
Welcome to the Redneck Choice Awards, brought to you by Showtime. You might be a redneck if, starring Jeff Foxworthy, and here's Bud Reisman.
Hey, folks, your ballots are in, so let's get to the awards. Our first category is Best Redneck Video. Let's look at top nominee Jeff Foxworthy for You Might Be a Redneck If.
If your richest relative buys a new house and you have to help take the wheels off of it, you might be a redneck. If you've ever taken a beer to a job interview, if you refer to the 5th grade as my senior year, you might be a redneck.
And the winner is Jeff Foxworthy.
Woo! I can't believe it.
Hey, I checked the envelope. You won them all.
I don't have to tour the whole country. Hey, wait, I could just sell my Showtime video, You Might Be a Redneck If, through this special TV offer. It's only $19.95, so call now to order.
Pittsburgh has cut the Detroit lead in half. Now 2-1 thanks to Kenny Pryor's goal at 5:09 of the second quarter. Neon put it back into play. They don't keep possession very long. Whitman took it away at the red line and now turns back into his own zone as he's watched by Joey Murtaugh. Got to give Murtaugh credit. He stayed with the bleached head all season. I thought it might be a trend early in the year only, but Joey has stuck with it all year.
And he suckered a couple of his teammates into that bet that he had with them, and he's kept it all year. He probably was going to do that anyway and won the money.
Knowing Joe, that's a very good possibility. He suckered a couple teammates into bad haircuts over the course of the year as well. It has not been a hairdresser's team this year for the Neon. As Kluba comes out top with one of the more conventional twos and feeds it across to Murtaugh, who, of course, is the exact opposite of that. He drives it in, and oh, my, did Andy Chapman have a good chance off the glass as he took it right out of the air. John's deflecting it out of play. The Detroit Vipers will be back at the Palace for their second season, coming up within the next 3 weeks, in fact, and partial season ticket packages begin for less than $100. For ticket information, the Palace box office number is 810-377-0100. Formos passing it wide of the net, got it to Crawford off the free kick, and now all the way back out, Paris moves it off the dasher to Murtaugh, but stepping in front of him, Davis knocking it away. The two of them battle for it in the corner. Joey with a nice spin move, comes out of there and moves it right through the arc, but he split both Chapman and Crawford. Otherwise, that's as nifty a play as you'll see.
Great play there by Joey.
Paris moving it off the dasher into the zone again, and Chapman beat his man, then taken down and got it off the boards. And a foul will go on Bobby Johnston. Pittsburgh continuing to pick up the foul.
Here's another great still ball opportunity for the Neon. They scored off the last one they had. Let's see what they can do here with Steve McCall using his right foot. Last time, we'll see how Joey sends the ball to set up perhaps the next Neon goal. He's going to look for Andy Chapman up top of the arc, John.
McCall's at the far post, but he's being covered. Murtaugh fakes that pass, gives it to Chapman at the top of the arc, and his shot deflected away at the last moment by P.J. Johns. I think it went off a Pittsburgh defender as well on the way.
Hit Steve McCall, I believe, and hit the post. I don't think McCall could react to it. It hit him and deflected.